What's up? What's up? It's your boy Ken, and I'm back to you with another one. All right, so we dealing with the foolery, right? So the stuff that goes on, it makes you question whether racism in boxing is the factor for these so-called experts to basically pick somebody who only had 14 fights, Vasiliy Lomochenko, right? They chose him to be the pound for pound best fighter in the world, right? Over Terence Crawford. And here's the thing. Terence Crawford have never lost, but Vasiliy Lomochenko has. He lost to Orlando Salido, right? It's right here, right? Orlando Salido. He has an L, right? I'm on BoxRec. He's lost before. And then not only to say that, but if you look at his record, right? Every situation except for the Gary Russell Jr., he had an advantage, somewhat of an advantage. Remember, some people say, "Oh, well, he fought Nicholas Walters. He was undefeated." Oh, y'all forgot to mention that Nicholas Walters also came off a long layoff. Jason Sosa was a bum. Miguel Martiaga was okay. Gil Marigadel was in a similar situation as Vasiliy Lomochenko. But did they give him pound for pound when he was 17-0? No, they did not. Why? It forces you to ask the question, why? Because Gil Marigadel was a special fighter as well, right? You know what I'm saying? It was the same situation. He didn't lose though through his 14 fights. In fact, as you see, he was 17-0. Nobody gave him number one pound for pound. He wasn't even in that discussion. Then he fought Jorge Linares. Okay fighter, good fighter. Jose Pedraza was a good fighter, but then nobody acknowledged the fact that he was a good fighter until Vasiliy Lomochenko actually fought him. People told Tank Davis, "Oh, he haven't fought anybody," even though Tank Davis mopped the floor with Pedraza, right? And then he had the bum bash quest, which was Anthony Crolla, right? Everybody knew he was going to win. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? But to look at his resume, yes, is it okay? Yes, he has a nice resume, right? But like I said, when he fought Gil Marigadel, he didn't fight him at a catch weight. He made him go all the way up to 130, and Gil Marigadel barely can, he walk around at 130, so he barely even made the 130. He didn't fight him at a fair advantage. He didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't dare to be great. So that's why when they say pound for pound, if pound for pound means that you go up and wait and look down to bring somebody up, then yes, he's a hell of a pound for pound fighter, right? Now, am I saying Vasiliy Lomochenko is a bad fighter? Absolutely not. I think he's a good fighter. But do I think he's a great fighter? I don't think so. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Vasiliy Lomochenko. So now they said that this man has a more impressive resume than Terence Crawford. They say that he's more of a special fighter than Terence Crawford, right? Now, let's look at it. Terence Crawford has actually moved up, right? Excuse me. He has actually moved up. He 135, 140. In fact, he's been undisputed, right? So let's look at his resume. Okay, this is Terence Crawford, 35-0. So you're basically taking somebody who lost and you're putting him over this guy, Terence Crawford, right? And most people that actually picks Vasiliy Lomochenko over Terence Crawford, I know the reason why, right? Terence Crawford is definitely way more of a special fighter. Okay, so everybody know that he just blasted Amir Khan, right? Just added, to his repertoire. Just did his thing. Okay. So they made an excuse about him fighting Jose Benavidez, right? Said he had one leg. Okay. He blasted Jeff Horn after people say he might be the next thing. Oh, Jeff Horn can beat Errol Spence. Jeff Horn is, basically the next thing coming, the next great white hope. All right. So everybody forgets, and they calling this man Ndango a bum, right? But he was 22-0 when Terence Crawford fought him. The Da Vinci Code wasn't cracked, so did nobody know how to beat him. In fact, he made it look so easy that people wanted to call him a bum, right? Felix Diaz was not a bum. Felix Diaz was a tough fight. John Molina Jr. was a tough fight, although he has 6 losses, right? And then let's go with this person that everybody said that he was going to lose to, which is Victor Postal, right? He blasted him. Everybody started calling Victor Postal a bum, right? So to fit the narrative, everybody basically wanted to degrade all these people that Terence Crawford fought, right? But they were actually good fighters. Henry Lundy wasn't a good fighter, even though this man's resume is good. Derry John, he wasn't a good fighter, but Thomas Delorme was. Yurikis Gamboa was. Ricky Burns was an okay fighter. You know what I'm saying? He was basically fighting cool high level caliber type fighters, because Gamboa was definitely a good fighter. He was definitely a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? But that actually was a tough fight, and he actually was giving Terence Crawford problems, but Terence Crawford pulled it off. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing, but like I said, Terence Crawford is he is 35-0, 26 KOs, right? Moved up in to 3 divisions, moved up, let me see, 2 divisions, right? And he's still dominating. So how can you sit there and take and pick Vasiliy Lomochenko, who's only had 14 fights, and one of those 14 he lost? How can you pick him over Terence Crawford? See, Vasiliy Lomochenko proved that he could be beaten. Terence Crawford has yet to prove that he can be beaten. And then, how do you have in the pound for pound, which is the reason I take them so-called expert as a joke? How could you put him, meaning Triple G, at number 5? He's not a top 5 fighter. He's not. He's a bum. Triple G is overhyped. Hopefully people was looking at the next great white hype. He's a bum. He's not that good. Right? So let's just say Vasiliy Lomochenko is in that conversation, right? Top pound for pound, which I'm gonna say Terence Crawford. I'm gonna say Mikey Garcia. I'm gonna say no, I'm gonna say Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia. I'm gonna say Deontay Wilder. I'm gonna say AJ. Then I'm gonna go with no, matter of fact, I'm gonna put Canelo at number 2, Errol Spence at number 3, Deontay Wilder at number 4. I'm gonna put who else do we have? I'm gonna put AJ at number 5. But I'm gonna just say this right now, flat out. Triple G ain't even the top 10 fighter.